Hello, Uncle Spurt here, and today we're having a good hard squint at the MSI Raider A18 HX. A big old beefcake of a gaming laptop powered by AMD's Ryzen 9000 HX series processor and boasting an 18-inch 4K display for the ultimate gaming experience in a mostly portable form. Check out that link down in the video description for all you need to know, and a massive thanks to MSI and AMD for sponsoring this video, keeping the old lights on at Techspert Towers. Cheers! Now, a laptop it may be, but you probably don't want to be lugging the Raider A18 HX too far, as it's a 3.6 kilogram beast. Although at least by lifting this thing a few times a day, you can basically skip the old bicep curls down the gym. And you've got yourself an aluminium and plastic exterior reinforced by a magnesium frame. The chassis feels suitably solid, as does the leads and those hinges. It's your pretty standard all black motif. Both the MSI logo and this strip along the lip of the laptop light up, and that can be fully customized. And between all of these obligatory RGB shenanigans and the whopping great exhausts with their big old red stripes, it's fairly obvious that this is a gaming laptop. And strong connectivity here on the Raider A18 as well, including a pair of Thunderbolt 4 USB-C ports slapped here on the right edge, complete with DisplayPort and power delivery compatibility. You've also got yourself a triple threat of USB 3.2 ports, one here on the right edge, the other two on the left. You've also got yourself an SD Express card slot, and then around back, sandwiched in between those vents, is an HDMI 2.1 port and a bit of Ethernet. And MSI has even kindly included a fingerprint sensor built into that chassis just beneath the keyboard, so you can instantly unlock the Raider A18, get straight into those games. Now, speaking of which, this gaming laptop can be specced out with the almighty 16-core AMD Ryzen 9 9955 HX3D, based on that Zen 5 architecture and running at 55 to 75 watts TDP. As for the GPU, well, that can be specced up to Nvidia's GeForce RTX 5090. And as usual, MSI has chucked on its usual helpful software, including the MSI Center, where you can either choose between 3 different performance modes: extreme, balanced and eco-silent. Or hey, if you can't be bothered with any of that manual fiddling about shenanigans, well, no worries, just chuck on the MSI AI engine. And this can adjust the system settings in real time based on what you're actually doing. So this can max out the performance if you're getting your game on, or chuck the laptop in the super efficient eco mode if you're just watching some bald northern git on YouTube. You've got loads of other great software on here as well, including the MSI App Player if you fancy playing some Android titles on this whopping great gaming machine. But of course, to properly make the most of that AMD performance, you'll probably want to slap on something a bit more punishing than Genshin Impact. And so I got stuck into some of the latest AAA titles, including Battlefield 6 and Outer Worlds 2, all playing at 4K resolution to really see what this thing can do. Now, starting with Battlefield 6, I played this with custom graphics settings, basically everything boosted right up, running at that Ultra HD resolution, and the gameplay was beautifully smooth even after well over an hour. The MSI Raider A18 HX certainly well suited to that fast-paced run and gun action, whether you're just kicking back with the single-player campaign or getting stuck into a proper gut of online action. As a knackered old geezer with arthritic limbs and reactions severely dampened by excessive alcoholism, I personally mostly stuck to the single-player solo campaign stuff. And that frame rate constantly hovered around the 100 frames per second mark, only dipping into the low 90s when things got proper tasty. Next up was Outer Worlds 2, and again I ran this at 4K resolution with everything turned up to 11, and the MSI Raider A18 HX again handled everything in its stride. Even when absolutely sprinting across those lush, colourful open environments, this laptop did not falter. And that frame rate was basically maxed out the entire time, making full use of the 120Hz refresh. And last up was a good bit of Indiana Jones, one of my favourites from 2025, again running at 4K resolution, this time at the ultra graphics quality. And this MSI laptop handled it like a champ. Even when I seemingly had half of the bloody Nazi party trying their level best to truncheon me into next week, the Raider A18 did not stumble. and Indy spaffed out an almost identical frame rate to Battlefield, usually sticking to the high 90s and occasionally reaching into those triple digits. Now, if sadly, unlike myself, you've got hours and hours to dedicate to gaming, well, no worries, because MSI has slapped its Cooler Boost 5 tech into the Raider to help prevent it from getting too toasty. And this includes a dual fan setup, multiple copper pipes, and you've got dedicated coolant for the SSD as well. And you can, if you want to, control those fans from within the MSI center, turning on the Cooler Boost tech. Otherwise, if you flip into advanced, you can fully manually tweak both fan 1 and fan 2. Otherwise, frankly, just let the AI engine handle it all because it does a bang-up job. So you can play the likes of Battlefield and Outer Worlds 2 indefinitely, as long as the laptop is plugged in, with no worries about the Raider A18 bottlenecking. And during all of my testing time, I never noticed the laptop heating up. All of that heat is directed away from you, your face, your hands, etc. Although, hey, now that we're sliding nads deep into winter, it's quite nice to actually stick your fingers by those vents. Get a nice bit of warmth from those. As for the battery, well, MSI has slipped a 99.9 watt-hour cell inside of that chunky chassis, but unfortunately, like most gaming laptops out there, battery life is kind of pants. Even if you slip the Raider A18 HX into balanced or eco-silent mode, you can still only expect around an hour and a half to 2 hours of mixed use before this thing's dead as a dodo. Now, one of the other highlights of the MSI Raider A18 HX, besides the excellent performance, is that almighty 18-inch mini LED screen. And this sports a 16:10 aspect ratio and of course boasts that 4K Ultra HD resolution, so visuals beautifully crisp despite the size of this panel. That matte surface helps to dampen the worst of any reflections, any glare that might be shining right off that screen. And even if you've got some pretty horrendous glare to deal with, like these fierce studio lights, well, no worries. If you boost the brightness all the way up to the maximum levels, it hits around 1000 nits. So you can still actually see what's going on as long as you're not playing anything that's too murky. And if you want to get stuck into some photo or video editing, well, great news, MSI has slapped its True Color app on here. So you can choose between a number of different display presets, including support for the sRGB, Adobe RGB, and DP3 gamuts. We've also got full-on gamer mode and a bit of anti-blue action if you want an easier on the eye experience, good for those evenings, etc. And even when indulging in a bit of 4K gaming, you can enjoy a refresh rate up to a creamy smooth 120 Hz. And MSI hasn't shunned the audio either. You've got a 6-speaker setup here with Dynaudio fine tuning. That's 4 2-watt speakers plus a pair of 2-watt woofers. When you max out that volume, they'll absolutely blast your lugs off, and a respectable amount of bass as well. And then of course, because this is an 18-inch laptop, you've got a nice spacious keyboard complete with number pad. Not much travel, but it's nice and firm. And of course, yes, naturally this keyboard lights up like a friggin' Christmas tree. And of course, all of this RGB goodness can be fully customized using the SteelSeries GG app, which comes pre-installed. This allows you to personalize the logo lights, the keyboard, and of course that light up lip. Got a wide variety of presets you can choose between, or alternatively, you can fully customize the keyboard colors on a key-by-key basis. And of course, if you do a bit of online streaming or anything like that, well, you've got a built-in infrared Full HD webcam just secreted in that top bezel there, along with some built-in mics that can clearly pick up your voice, even if you live in quite a noisy household, because you've got a good bit of AI noise cancellation built in. It's also great to see that MSI has added a privacy shutter as well, so if you want that camera out of action to do private stuff, well, no worries, you can just slide that across the lens, job done. And those rather tasty specs are rounded off by up to a 2TB SSD. And that right there, my lovelies, is a quick squint at the MSI Raider A18 HX. A certifiable beefcake, no doubt, if not the most portable of gaming laptops around, but hey, if you want the ultimate performance, then basically job done. Now, as I say, check out the link in the video description for all you need to know about the MSI Raider A18 HX and to bag your very own. Massive thanks again to MSI and AMD for sponsoring this video, keeping the old lights on at Techspert Towers. Please do plug subscribe, ding that notifications bell, and have yourselves a ruddy, wonderful rest of the week. Cheers everybody, love you!